Welcome back, everyone. Hope you guys had a great evening. Hope you're not paying too much attention to the Bitcoin fiat exchange price, because if you are, then you know we're sitting at 67.2. Well, I'll tell you this: the bears are definitely cheering, right? The people who claim to have sold a lot higher, they believe that they are geniuses right now. So we're going to give them a little bit of an applause. And the bulls, obviously, well, look, if you're as bullish as I am, then you know this is just stacking territory, and it's one of those things where, okay, let's just radically accept this and get it over with, right? Let's go through the pain. There is an insane amount of FUD going on right now. And this is just par for the course. So don't worry, though. We've got lots of hopium, because that's right. We're going to talk about the one number that explains Bitcoin's price. I love some of this opium stuff. It's fantastic. Anyways, it keeps me going. So this time it's different. Maybe. Yeah, we're going to take a look at some things that might indicate that this time it's different. What else? What else do we got? We've got some bearish comments from Michael Burry. That's right, the guy who successfully shorted and called the 2008 mortgage crisis. Is he right, or is he really just a broken clock like the rest of us? We're going to take a look at that. Of course, we've got an awesome video from the state. That's right. I think it's is it Senator Brad Sherman? Anyways, yeah, he was having a conversation with Scott Bessent, and it was pretty hilarious. We're going to take a look at that. I know none of us really pay attention to the mainstream media. However, my wife does, and she alerted me to the fact that NBC co-anchor Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie, her mother supposedly is kidnapped. So that is confirmed, right? And supposedly there's a ransom note demanding Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at that story. And more AI in Bitcoin, guys. A lot going on. Don't fall for all the noise. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Here we go. Pleb Underground is sponsored by Archimedes Emporium. Discover the pinnacle of precision engineering, starting with their Bitcoin logo wall clock, meticulously machined in Maine from a solid block of aerospace-grade aluminum, ensuring unparalleled durability and performance. Experience the difference of a product made without compromise. Head on over to Archimedes Emporium. Okay, so 67.1. Look at that, right? The time I did the intro to the time that we're here, look at that. We already lost $100. Anyways, doesn't really matter. Block height 935,145. That's right. NGU technology, up it goes. I'm pretty sure yesterday when I talked about the total public lightning capacity, there was 5,200 something. So I don't know. We're back up to 5,704. Anyways, I'm okay with that. I am okay with the public lightning capacity. Doesn't bother me. Good morning. Good morning, Sat Stacker. That's right. Don't trip by the dip. This is exactly it. These are, like I know it's typical, right? It's that I would say this, but yeah, for me, this much of a pullback, this is where I start. This is where I continue to accumulate, right? This is where I start accumulating again. Not financial advice. Live your own life, make your own decisions. I'm just telling you what I do. Like apparently we can't just give an opinion. It has to be has to be financial advice if you say anything. Good morning, free guides. Free RS guides. Sorry. Good morning, J Dub. Are we alive? Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling good. Obviously, I'd much rather if we were going to the moon and all it was clear skies ahead. However, to free RS guides, it can't get much worse. Right. Then I'm just picturing that meme of the old guy, right? The old guy that's clenching his teeth and holding the coffee. Can't get much worse than this. Yeah, I'm also feeling pretty good. About the BTC. And good morning, Silent Lamb. Good morning, Turbo. Okay, that's it. We've said good morning to everyone. Let's dive into it. Okay, so this is an interesting. Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's right. And you know what's kind of funny? ETFs aren't seeing major outflows. So in terms of Bitcoiners, right? Like talking about how, and I think I'm pretty sure that I was of this opinion as well, that ETF holders would not be would not be able to withstand or hold through this volatility. And guess what? ETFs aren't seeing major outflows, barely any. So I was wrong. Those dudes, they're holding their shares. So hey, good stuff. I guess there are some people with conviction that are holding the ETF. That's good. Anyways, all right. So back to this one, guys. This is an interesting one from Charts BTC. Days Bitcoin has spent in price ranges. Now, for me, I just thought that this was interesting, right? Because as we get down to the bottom, you can see what I highlighted over here, right? So from 16,384 to 32K, we spent 606 days. From 32,000 to 65, we spent 742. And then from 65 to 131, we only spent 565. Now, of course, right, I'm just going to sit there and pull meaning out of this, as if there's any type of meaning. What I'm trying to say is that you'll notice that as the number continues to go higher, right, exchange, we seem to spend more and more time in these ranges, right, as they go up, the higher ranges. So granted, that could be because the amount of volume, the amount of interest, the amount of people holding Bitcoin, the amount of products being built around Bitcoin, that I'm sure there's all these factors at play. But yeah, all of this to say, I'm bullish. I'm bullish. I'm doing the old man meme with the coffee. I'm bullish. All right, here we go, guys. The one number that explains Bitcoin's price. Here we go. And that number is minus 0.65. That's Bitcoin's Z-score. If you're not a statistician, which I'm not, here's all that means. A Z-score tells you how far price is stretched from what's normal. Are we stretched? We stretched thin enough right now? Okay, so here we go. Z equals 0, price is normal. Z greater than 0, price is stretched high. Z less than 0, price is stretched low. All right, I'm not seeing any lies detected. It doesn't predict hype. It measures tension. Here's why. Minus 0.65 matters. At this point, after every prior halving, Bitcoin was above trend. This time it's different, guys. That's right. We get the one magic number, and this time it's different. It's going to be a unicorn year. 2012 was plus 1.02. 2016 was plus 1.32. And 2020 was plus 0.48. Today, minus 0.65. So that has never happened before. Not once in 15 years. This guy ran the full data set. 5,681 daily observations. He's a statistician, sorry. Every crash, every bubble, every macro regime. The relationship between the Z-score and the future price is not weak. It's not weak. That means how far price is stretched explains more of what happens next than rates, CPI, narratives, or sentiment. Go on. So why doesn't price feel bullish? Because Bitcoin is no longer being priced like a trade. It's being used. Mind blown. Bitcoin now trades 24/7, settles instantly, and can be pledged as collateral. Capital can move through it without anyone smashing the buy button on an exchange. That suppresses price temporarily. It doesn't weaken demand. The market calls that no interest. The math calls it misclassification. The bet isn't that Bitcoin moons. The bet is that math didn't stop working this cycle. Newsflash, math never stops working. It's math. Anyways, because when highly stretched systems snap back, they don't negotiate, they just move. Macro does not determine Bitcoin's long-term price. Distance from equilibrium does. I gotta tell you, I'm feeling pretty good after reading that. We're sitting at 66K. Huh. Maybe that whole thing plays out later. But I just want to point out, right, guys, because obviously I bring up all of these different posts, and I've been following that particular account since probably like back in November or something like that. And I've taken you guys through the whole entire year, right? We had the compression, the coils, the gamma. We were supposed to have like a moonshot December 26th, right? Day after Christmas. That didn't happen. What else? Then it was the, oh, well, if the 26th doesn't happen, then it's December 31st, right? Or January 1st. We're not really sure because the coil and the compression and then the gammas and of course nothing happened, but it's okay. It's okay because there's a 15-day window, right? And really by January 15th, if the coil doesn't spring and it snaps, then 274K. And of course, here we are, February 5th. And now it's the one magic number. So, it's just like, guys, this stuff, exactly to Silent Lamb's point, right? This makes me feel good. that's literally like, that's all it is, man. It makes me feel good. And it helps get me through these difficult times because I don't sell all of my Bitcoin when we get to the top or anything like that. I'm a hodler. Sorry, like for me, it's just, I don't want that. One of the main reasons that we get into Bitcoin is because we are trying to exit out of the shenanigans, right? That's one of the reasons I came to Bitcoin, was because I didn't want to have to guess which stock to buy and stuff like that. I just wanted to be able to store my value. Like I had this crazy idea, like most Bitcoiners, that you could just simply hold Bitcoin and it would maintain its purchasing power, if not exceed the purchasing power, right, of the dollar and inflation over time. That simple, right? Opt out of the shenanigans. Something all of a sudden happened. And I do blame a lot of influencers and the podcasters who platformed these complete TradFi shitheads that sat there talking to you about the Bitcoin hurdle rate and how this is going to outperform Bitcoin. And of course, all of these desperate Bitcoin influencers that really did not stack enough. They need a job, right? And there's nothing wrong with needing a job, but there is something wrong with lying to people about Bitcoin, misinforming them on shitty stocks. Okay? There is something wrong there. And something happened. And all of a sudden, Bitcoin just wasn't enough, right? All of a sudden, storing your value isn't enough. All of a sudden, it's about fucking buying shares and investing in these random companies where you don't hold any of the actual Bitcoin. The whole point was opt out. It was the whole point. Anyways. It's a tough one, guys. It's a tough one, right? Obviously, the bear market is more fun, as you can see. as you can see, we're having so much more fun. Okay, let's continue. All right, Bitcoin archive. Let's do it. Bitcoin is now down 41% since hitting 126K on the 6th of October. 4 consecutive red months is the longest bearish run since 2018. Guys, boom. This time it's different. What does this mean? Does this mean that we get some like serious major green? I could use it right now. Not gonna lie. Hey, all right. Hey, Dylan, little hodler, good stuff. Welcome. I know it doesn't seem conducive, but you'll see. I don't actually know a single person who has stacked Bitcoin for 4 years at least and not begun, at the very least, begun to be able to change their lives. Okay. And I'm underselling it because in all fairness, most people who truly saved and stored their value in Bitcoin for a minimum of 4 years really do begin to see life-changing money. It's not financial advice. Do whatever the hell you want. Unfortunately, we got to say it's not financial advice because nobody can take personal responsibility for their own actions. So, yeah, I sound like an idiot saying that, but well, there you go. I sound like all the other TradFi idiots saying that. Okay, so look, this one's confusing me, all right? Shout out to Bitcoin Sapiens. Yesterday, I pick up this post, right? Bitcoin has never fallen below its electrical cost. Today, the floor is 71K. All of a sudden, today, the same post, but the floor is 58K. The floor of the electrical cost is 58K. What the hell happened since yesterday? So look, I don't know which one's the Hopium. I have no idea, okay? Yeah, no longs left to liquidate. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, right? The people who borrowed against Bitcoin. So look, if you borrowed against Bitcoin when we were near the highs, number one, you're unfortunately learning a really important lesson. Unless, of course, you have a whole lot of Bitcoin and it's not really a problem for you to cover that collateral. But then I would wonder why you ended up borrowing against it in the first place. Doesn't matter. Okay. But yeah, I know these people are stressing out hard. They're looking at it, and it's like, I there's a reason, right? Like, there's a reason the businesses try to get you to borrow against your Bitcoin when we're near highs, right? Like, they know how human psychology works, right? Like, when you're feeling wealthy, when you're feeling successful, you're more likely to take risks, right? Like, hey, look, my Bitcoin's worth a lot. I can afford this loan, you know. And then Bitcoin starts to do what it does, and then you're like, oh, now we're not at over 100K, right? Now all of a sudden I'm like 5K away from a margin call, and I've spent all of that money or something. So it's just, you can't expect the people who rely on that particular income not to tell you. Like, they're not going to tell you when the bad time is to get a loan. They want you to get a loan all the time. That's their business. Anyways, yeah. Good point. Good point, Tanko. Yeah, exactly, right. In terms of the cost, that's exactly what it's just moving the goalpost. Like, I don't even know what's real anymore. I don't even know what's real anymore. Good morning, Phil. Yeah, I know, right? Like, why would you ever borrow against your Bitcoin when you can get margin called? Look, I don't disagree. And again, right, everybody is in a different situation. Everybody does different things. I think that, like, let's say you borrow against your Bitcoin while it's down in the dumps for whatever reason, right? Hey, you're gonna have to put up a whole lot more collateral, but there's really very little reason why you would get actually margin called on that, So, but again, I am not advocating for this. I have said this 1,000 times before. Okay. Do not borrow against your Bitcoin. Do not listen to these people that are telling you that, it's going to be okay. Like, look, the whole idea, it's going up 30%, average of 30% a year, right? For the rest of our lives. Yeah. Average. Okay. You don't know what's happening there. There's a whole lot of nuance in that. Okay. And yeah, there's a lot of people right now. Trust me, they're watching this screen, and it's the Key and Peel meme, right? The sweating one. It's the sweating Key or Peel meme. Anyways, all right, I'll continue. I'm totally derailing my whole show here because we're talking about this stuff, but it's true. Roman, what did you say? Are we finally bottoming today? Is that it? Okay. All right. So yesterday was the bottom, but today is the real one. Okay. I'm going with that, Roman. You're making me feel good. We'll go with today as the bottom. All right. Let's continue. We still have believe it or not, there's more Hopium. Not that. Here we go. My favorite Hopium. Michael Burry. Let's see. Bitcoin's plunge could deepen into a self-reinforcing death spiral, inflicting lasting damage on companies that have, what did they do? Spent the past year stockpiling the token. I mean, in all fairness, right? The companies, who cares, right? If they had income, if they had enough money without kicking their shareholders in the nuts, it wouldn't matter. They'd be able to hold their Bitcoin. Mercado Libre isn't stressing right now. They can afford to hold their Bitcoin. Block, they can afford to hold their Bitcoin. Even SpaceX can afford to hold its Bitcoin. But you know who can't? Treasury companies. Treasury companies that have no real operating revenues and no cash flow. Right now, they're stressing. Yep. And hopefully they can get through this valley, right? Hopefully they can get through this valley. But it's kind of funny, right, that Michael Burry made this comment. Yeah, exactly, dude. We're getting the death spiral. So today I saw some mining death spiral FUD, right? Apparently, if Bitcoin goes below the cost of electricity, no one's going to mine Bitcoin anymore. Right. So we just omit all of Bitcoin's history. We omit all of those people who were essentially paying to mine Bitcoin in the beginning, so to speak. Those guys, those are exceptions. Today, the second we go under this cost, boom, that's it. Everyone's stopping to mine Bitcoin. Okay, cool. Yeah. I know. I'm a fan of it too. I don't mind just going anywhere. Okay, so anyways, though, the Michael Burry stuff, just for reference, okay, he also called the bottom back in 2021, right? Here's his post: trap bulls often fall for the latest support, and here is the actual chart, right? That his post, this is what he called, and look at what we went on to go do right after that. We went on to go right back to previous all-time highs. So food for thought, guys. Food for thought. Okay. This is like my favorite. This is my favorite part because this video is so cringe and so embarrassing. Here we go. Congressman Sherman, does the Treasury Department have the authority to bail out Bitcoin? This, even before I put the video on, this is so pathetic and sad. I can't believe that Brad Sherman gets a paycheck for doing what he does. Like, it's mind-boggling to me that these people don't understand Bitcoin at all. And to a certain extent, it almost seems like he doesn't understand how the government works, even though he works in the government and is part of the government. It's fucking wild. Like, I'd be ashamed. And it's insane because in anyone else in any other job, if you can't do your job properly, you get fired. You just get fired. Like, that's it. Like, yeah, look, you messed up. Okay, we built this file on you. You suck. Goodbye. But yet, the politicians, it's forever paychecks for these idiots. It is forever paychecks. I swear to God. It's insane. All right, here we go.
Mr. Secretary, we lived through the bailouts.
Did you? Did you live through the bailouts? Did you actually feel any of that pain? Nah.
Of 2008, when powerful men lose money, they now want a government bailout. Does the Treasury Department or the various components of the FMOC have the authority to bail out Bitcoin?
I sometimes get the feeling that this asshat thinks he's being clever. They're never going to be able to stop this one. I'm going to stump them. Like, dude, you don't understand Bitcoin, and this is a total self-own. It's embarrassing. I'd be ashamed. I remember standing in front of customers, having to explain to them different issues. I would go prepared. I would make sure that I understood the context of what I was talking about. This is fucking embarrassing. Anyways, it's good. It means we're still super early.
Could you please elaborate? What exactly does bail out Bitcoin
Okay,
mean,
could you
Congressman?
instruct the banks of this country to buy more Bitcoin, or change banking regulations so that they are encouraged to do so in terms of the reserves that they're otherwise required to have?
Again, that within the context of asset diversification within banks, they could hold many assets.
They can, and there are different, but do you have the authority to order banks to buy Bitcoin or to invest U.S. tax dollars in Bitcoin or Trump coin?
I am Secretary of the Treasury. I do not have the authority to.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Krent, you nailed it, man. You totally nailed it. You have absolutely no qualifications. It's true. It's true. And I've said this so many times. It is not the noblest of people who desire to govern over their fellow man. It's just pure garbage humans.
To do that. And as chair of FSOC, I do not have that authority.
So we're not going to see our tax dollars invested in crypto assets?
Well, why would a private bank be your tax dollars, Congressman?
Excuse me, I'm now asking about the money of our taxpayers, which you manage as Secretary of the Treasury. Is it going to be deployed into crypto assets?
We are retaining seized.
Okay, so look, let's just, this is part of it that where it's not hopium. But the truth is that he's dancing, right? He's dancing around this question. And the truth is that the government either, so what I'm thinking is there's two things, okay? The super hopium take is that the government does plan on actually buying Bitcoin, which is in complete opposition to everything I have said up until this point. Or the more likely thing is that he's just avoiding it because they have absolutely no intention of purchasing Bitcoin and every intention of just continuing to seize Bitcoin, and that will be the U.S. stockpile, or SBR.
Bitcoin.
That's not exactly taxpayer money. You collect a lot of taxes this month.
No, that is an asset of the U.S.
It's an asset of the U.S.
It was government.
Are you going to invest in?
And I will point out,
Mr. Secretary, reclaiming my time, are you going to invest?
The asset seizure, that $1 billion of Bitcoin was seized, $500 million was retained, and that $500 million has become over $15 billion.
Gentleman's time has expired.
His time has expired. Brad Sherman honestly looks like a Muppet. And of course, I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm old. And for the people who don't know what the Muppet Show is, go check it out. He genuinely looks like a Muppet. It's crazy. And I mean, look, as a politician, I think it's par for the course. He is a Muppet. So, there's that aspect of it as well. But yeah, that was horribly cringe and embarrassing. And frankly, it scares, it really does scare the hell out of me that these people, people like Brad Sherman, have this amount of influence and control over a country. That level of incompetence or that lack of understanding of Bitcoin is just absolutely frightening. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's a noob to it. I just think he's disingenuous on purpose. To be fair, I think he's disingenuous on purpose. Yeah. All right, sorry guys. Yeah, we're gonna continue. We continue on. Okay. This whole story, right? I know we don't pay attention to mainstream media, but they said the magic word, guys. It's like the bat signal. Okay, my wife was like, "They're talking about Bitcoin." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" So we got to unfortunately dive into this terrible story. So here we go. Ransom note connected to the suspected abduction of Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie, demanded millions in cryptocurrency and was shown to the Today Show co-host by federal authorities. Alarm bells began to sound Sunday when the 84-year-old matriarch missed church, right? They're talking about Savannah's mother. She lives alone. She has like a big piece of land. It's very isolated. I've been keeping up with this because my wife watches this stuff. So, it's like I'm sitting next to her on the couch. Can't help but pay attention. She was last seen the night prior at her Tucson home where she lives alone. TMZ reported the sender is demanding millions in Bitcoin be sent to a certain address, which the outlet has verified. There are certain things we're saying about what she was wearing and damage to the house, said TMZ founder Harvey Levin. We've contacted the sheriff's department and we want to get them this letter. So, yeah, that is some scary stuff, right? Another reason I brought this up is because, a lot of times we see these stories about Bitcoin hodlers, or crypto guys getting, kidnapped or held for ransom or stuff like that. I highly doubt Savannah Guthrie's a hodler. I don't think her mother is, so, to the people who, people think they're safe, right? Just because it's, I don't hodl Bitcoin. I don't have anything to worry about. You got to remember when people are desperate, it gets very complicated and we don't all have an understanding of what another person sees as worthwhile or not. What I'm trying to say is that there are places in this world where life is very cheap. And there are people who see life all over the world as very cheap. So just something to keep in mind. Hey, good morning, Salty Crayon. What are you talking about, Torup? We're at 66.6. We're nowhere near 58. It's, again, the Peel meme with the sweating. Okay. So the Cali stuff, right? Cali, Bitcoin. He's a coder. Does a lot of work around Bitcoin. He mostly, from what I know, he does a lot of work around the eCash and Cashew. And this guy he's fantastic. I really appreciate what he's doing. After 5 days of nonstop coding, I'm excited to announce our new project, Clowy AI. I probably destroyed the name. I apologize. Your personal Openclaw agent that runs in the cloud. So yesterday we were talking about an Openclaw agent directly on your node. This is not the same thing, okay? This is not the same thing at all. So you can install this. It's an AI agent in the cloud that you pay for, right? There's different plans and you get different levels of access to it. So, I mean, look, to a certain extent, as I was looking at this, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe it's not a bad idea. Maybe I should get one of these things and see what I can get it to do, for Pleb Underground, like why not? Right? Why not? Hey, good morning, Salty Crayon. Good morning, Bitcoin Core Dev. You're threatening me again, aren't you? I don't appreciate these threats. Inside joke. I don't actually think he's threatening. How much money was lost in the great financial crisis? Anybody know? Financial crisis. How much was lost? Very curious. I just thought of that. An estimated $19 trillion, guys. $19 trillion evaporated in the great financial crisis. You know how many people went to jail for that? 0. You know how many people got raises for that? More than 0. But you know who is sitting in jail right now? Just for writing code, not sinking a financial system, not robbing the entire country of $19 trillion to line their own pockets. These guys. Bill and Keone, they're sitting in jail because they wrote code. Code that helps enforce privacy. They just reached 15,000 signatures today, okay? Please, if you haven't done so, please sign the petition. If you feel inclined, consider donating. Tomorrow, I am supposed to have Keone's wife on the show. She's going to be joining me. So if you guys have any questions for her or anything like that, just come join me on the stream and you can ask her live. Yeah, we're going to go through it. I'm really curious to find out. I mean, I know, I've been following the letters that he's been writing, but I'm really curious from her perspective, right? The kids, everything like that, like what's going on, right? What's going on? So stay tuned tomorrow. Oh, I appreciate it, Randy. I like doing the solo episodes too, but sometimes I want to talk to somebody else, right? It's just me alone here. And so that's the other thing, right? I genuinely get people on the show that I actually want to talk to, right? Like I follow them on Twitter or something, and it's like, or I have something that I want to ask them. And that's why it's like, okay, let's get them on as a guest. That's why you guys will probably notice a lot of my guests, it's not like the typical, it's like the typical giant influencer circle jerk. It's not because I can't get these people. It's because I frankly don't give a shit to speak to them. I can just read what they tweet. Everybody has access to it. A lot of them have Substacks and stuff like that. That's okay. But I'm just saying, it's, to me, I'd rather have a conversation with a real person. It's just more interesting to me. It's more mentally stimulating. Anyways, guys, have a great rest of the day. I'm just rambling on. Don't stress. Look, now we're at 66.9. Look at that. We're $300 up from where we were 10 minutes ago. Have a great rest of the day, and I will catch you all tomorrow.